Good morning. Welcome to WQEE 99.1. I'm Donna.
And I am Bruce.
And this is
Lyrical Wisdom.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna. What a wonderful morning.
Yes, and welcome all of you to Lyrical Wisdom.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today here on WQEE 99.1 FM. So grateful for each and every one of you, and especially for sending in those requests.
Yes, thank you for sending in your requests.
We actually have one today we're going to do for you.
We do, and this is a request from Pete in Noonan, and his request comes with some requests behind it, because this request came up and we had all of our requests, and I've been shuffling through them and reading them, so we are not getting to them in any kind of order because we didn't really have an order to them because I kind of ruined that, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just getting to them as we see them. But we also had a couple of friends that said, hey, will you guys do this song? When they knew that this was on the list, they were like, yeah, you got to do this song. So we're excited about this, Pete. Thank you very much. But yes, we are getting to everybody's request as soon as we can, and kind of in a random order. But
Yes.
We'll get to them. We are so grateful for you guys.
You know, that keeps it exciting, Bruce.
Boy, howdy, yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep listening.
You got to keep listening. You
Because
never
your
know.
request will
Yeah.
come on.
That's right. So Pete in Noonan has requested a song that we're excited to do. It's Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day.
Alrighty.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass, 7 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, wake me up when September ends. Summer has come and passed, the innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Ring out the bells again, like we did when spring began. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, wake me up when September ends. Summer has come and passed, the innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass, 20 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Wow.
Thank you, Bruce.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
So, first of all, what just jumped in my mind or in my head was, oh my gosh, that is so true. I was looking at the 7 years has gone so fast, and then as the song completes, he wraps it with 20 years has gone so fast.
Yes.
My father told me something when I was pretty young, probably still in high school.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
I do.
Yeah, and he said, remember when you get older, when you're my age, time goes very quickly. and lately the years have just seemed to like go to sleep, wake up, and another year has passed.
It seems like we blink our eyes, and that's what happens. I had a moment earlier this year thinking, oh my gosh, a year ago I was filling in the blank of that moment. And in that moment, I believe that we go back in time. I believe that we actually visit our past and we experience it again within our consciousness. And I believe that is a true experiencing of going back in time. However, I do believe that when this year started, I couldn't help that, because I agree with you. And it hasn't just been since this year 2024. I feel like it happened before that. But it's just simply at that point when we crossed over into 2024, I couldn't help but feel like that. And I agree with you. The 7 years has gone so fast becomes 20 years has gone so fast. And it's that nod to time passing so fast, or sometimes so slowly.
True, true. And life itself, because it begins with summer has come and passed.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I believe the majority of us see summer as fun.
Yes, it is the moment when we have a break. It's not just like spring break, because that's only a week. Yes, that is definitely associated with fun, but summertime, holy cow. How many songs have been written about just strictly summertime? All of the things associated with summertime. Kids are off of school, summer vacation, camping, swimming, the pool. Some people don't even have a heated pool because in the summer it's hot enough, that thing is warm enough to get in and enjoy. It's a beautiful time. And so that is something that is a nod to, I agree with you, a beautiful moment.
School's out.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Families are together once again.
And the days are the longest.
Oh, that is so true. And the warmest.
And the warmest, yes. Yeah. The cold lake, the cold pool, everything becomes warm enough to enjoy, or at least cool enough for us to feel cooled off and enjoy in such a wonderful, delicious way that I find it interesting. As you said, summer has come to pass, and then you go back. It does repeat a lot in this song, but at the very end he says, like my fathers come to pass.
Yes.
And that is a very interesting connection to that repetitive summer has come to pass. And then the 7 years has gone so fast, becoming the 20 years has gone so fast. It's very interesting how those relate to each other.
I have something about that 7 years, which is quite fascinating. Let's go to the innocent can never last.
That is, I believe, a little bit of a comment to some of us could think of our inner child.
There is, yes, as we age, we lose that beautiful innocence of the childhood that when the summer came was so free.
It was.
The freedom that was presented through the play, the imaginary, crusades that you went on with your friends, the bike wars, whatever was happening.
Yeah.
It's that we seem to put away.
We do.
We put it on a shelf.
We do.
When summer ends, which is to me childhood, that beautiful time, and we become adults that don't really, we put ourselves into such boxes
we do.
And structures of belief that, we can't do this, we can't do that. And in actuality, yes, we can.
Everything is possible.
Yes.
Everything is
and
possible.
And to become childlike is what Jesus asked us to do in the Bible.
It's true. Yes.
Which is going back to that innocent self that does open up to all that is and the infinite possibility
that are in front of us.
Yes. Yeah. So wake me up when September ends.
Now that we've discovered what innocence is referring to, what do we think September is referring to?
Right.
That's the part that I find very interesting. With the innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. And I think that in a way, if we're like thinking of when September is, that's in the fall.
Right. It begins the fall.
That begins the
or
change.
October,
It's a different
really,
change of seasons.
yes.
Yeah, there are some dramatic moon phases at that time. Some dramatic changes in the seasons, as we're mentioning, and dramatic changes in the amount of time we have during the day as well.
Yes.
Because the days become shorter.
Temperature changes.
We get colder weather. And it's that September ending, and then the next line where here comes the rain again. And I think that in a way, Wake Me Up When September Ends, I think that that's where he's kind of going ahead and making that reference again to Wake Me Up When September Ends, because I think September is that phase of life indicating that kind of dramatic change with the leaves changing colors and the changes in the human body, the changes in nature, and the changes that we experience with the changes of the seasons there.
Right. And for me, Wake Me Up, that is so like the buzzword these days.
It is.
You know, are you awake? People are waking up. I'm awake. Are you
The
awake?
awakening, yes.
The awakening.
Yeah, there's
the great awakening.
it's
and so I'm wondering if they're asking for that, you know, hey, I've been in this, what I perceive as a fantasy
Yes.
of summer. I want to continue doing that.
Yes.
I don't want to be my old self. I don't want to have to go back to work and do this and do that, and, you know.
Yes.
So wake me up.
Yeah.
Let me live my life.
When this September ends that I'm living in, and summer can start and I can have my fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let it, I don't know, but some people...
I think that that's a very astute take on this, because I agree. September is that time that we have to kind of put on our adult suit and go to work every day and kind of try to be that...
Slow down,
Yep.
fall, and because winter is coming.
Yes, and there's no irony in how that sounds with anybody that's a big fan of Game of Thrones right now. But all I can say is simply that, yes, winter is a different time. It is a complete change, not just in nature, but in the human body too. And so, yeah, wake me up when September ends. Wake me up when this time period is over that we are experiencing, that we can't just be free and run around like kids in the field.
And I believe that the true waking up ushers in the beauty of the fall
Yes.
and the winter.
And then the rebirth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because it says it in this song.
Yes,
so like
it
my
does.
fathers come to pass.
Yeah.
So for me, 7 years has gone so
So
fast. I don't know if you know this, but I know that the indigenous are very, very much aware of the cycles of 7. 7 generations, 7 days, in a week. 7 is such a spiritual number.
It is a spiritual number, and it actually is. I don't know of many people that know this. I would say this with that in mind, because the 7 sisters, we think of that as a nickname, and some people recognize that right away
The
as
Pleiades.
Pleiades. But
7 chakras.
And 7 chakras. It has been a very long time that all 7 stars of Pleiades have actually been visible to the human eye. Right now, if you look in the sky on a very clear night, you're probably only going to be able to see 6 of them. So that is a comment to how old 7 is in our world, because the 7 sisters is a nickname that came from... We haven't been able to see all 7 stars from Earth with the human eye in over 10,000 years.
Wow.
So that is, it's as simple as that. That is a very old reference. I believe it.
Yes,
I believe that.
And like my fathers come to pass. So every generation, they leave us, but they leave us with wisdom and knowledge of what they lived.
And the wisdom that is, it's teaching. And it's, like my fathers come to pass. It is that reference. It's a little bit like the library that we look at behind us when we leave it or when we go into it. That is the knowledge of the previous years.
So, wake me up when September ends.
Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars. drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. I feel like that's exactly.
I love that paragraph.
I do too.
I do. I love that line so much because yes, the rain water in itself is so cleansing and purifying and nourishing.
It's the blood of our bodies. We were discussing that on Earth Day and making these comments and singing songs about how water is the blood in our veins. And that is such a beautiful thing. And it's also in the universe, science would declare that is the key to life if you have water, liquid water. And so here comes the rain again. Now, this is a reference to rain falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. I feel like that's a little bit of like what we just said, what September is. And I think truly that the rain falling from the stars, in this moment, the rain isn't what causes the pain.
Oh, no.
It is exactly like what we are saying. It is the nourishment and the cleansing. The pain is already there. Drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are, because we're in the middle of that September period.
Of letting go.
Yes.
The rain falling from the stars. Do you know that I heard here recently that when we look at the stars, particularly the Milky Way, we cannot number the stars. There are so many, infinitely.
Yeah.
The thought came, or I heard someone say, think about, every star is actually its own universe.
Absolutely.
It has its own universe. It's the sun to its universe.
To its own solar system, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
That is amazing.
So how many other Earths are there that are experiencing what we're experiencing? Therefore, when the rain comes from the stars, to me, it is the beauty of the collectiveness of all of us going through this thing that we call ascension, in which we die and are reborn. And die and reborn.
Yes.
And we die to our pain.
Yes.
And that's how we become who we are.
Who we are, exactly as they say. Yes. And I agree with that, because those stars, that rain coming from the stars, it is being bathed in the universal love and consciousness and light that is out there. How much love and light is out there, we just don't know. And one of the most beautiful things I think about seeing the starlight, as we go to the next line, as my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, wake me up when September ends. Because that's what we're talking about is, as my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, because the body never forgets. But we can move on. We can forgive and move into a much more beautiful place. Because the starlight that we see in the sky, we are literally seeing the past. We are literally journeying, if you will, into the past when we see starlight at night. Because when you see starlight at night, it has been traveling for so many years that there is no way that we are not seeing the past. That light came from the past. So we're seeing the past.
Yeah.
So we are time travelers every night that you look up into the night sky. There's no other way to look at it, really. I don't mean to declare that an ultimatum, but I'm just saying, as my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, what I've learned, and now what I take with me, wake me up when this time period of rebirth, this kind of hibernation period sometimes that we need to go through to go inside ourselves, wake me up when that ends. Wake me up when we get to that summertime again, or when I'm ready to then be reborn into that inner child again.
Yeah. Or for me, when September ends, is going into that death. So wake me up so that I can realize what it is that I need to throw away.
Absolutely, yeah.
That I need to let go of.
Yeah.
And my memory rests, but it never forgets.
Yeah.
So it's like the journey that we're on. You know, yes, I have grown. I have learned many, many lessons.
Yes.
Those are all the things that you lose as you gain
Yes.
your beautiful
Yes.
being
Yeah.
of who you truly
Yes.
are.
Yes.
Because we're
Absolutely.
losing, that part of us that we don't need to carry forward.
No, absolutely.
Because
And
it's pain and shame and guilt and
drenched in my pain again. Yes.
Yep.
And it is, those are the things that our body never forgets, but we can forgive and move on. And I agree with that. That is summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. And then we have ring out the bells again, like we did when spring began. And that's where I feel like that's where that moment of celebration is.
oh yes, we just went through that.
Yes.
Spring is here. It does bring forth this beautiful feeling from within of a new breath,
yes.
a new energy,
Yes.
newness.
Yes.
You can't help but see it all around you in the buds of the trees,
Oh my
and
gosh,
the blooms of the flowers.
And then the buzzing of the bugs when you hear them buzzing in your
bees.
ear. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yes.
and it is a beautiful thing.
It's almost like ringing out the bells. It's such an exalted
It is.
feeling.
From the sun to the ground, it is incredibly energetic and beautiful. It's a shiny, sparkly thing. I feel like every time I get a chance to witness it. But yes, it is like ringing out the bells, and it then goes into here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. And I agree. That's where, once again, this is just a nod to say, hey, yeah, this is, where we are being reborn. Here is where we are coming from, and we're acknowledging that, and now we're moving on into this portion of rebirth and cleansing and awakening.
Yes.
When September ends.
Yeah, because that is when the darkness comes. Remember the light?
Yes.
It's
yes.
darkness comes after September ends. And if I'm awake with the knowledge of this is time for me to go within, to begin to shed all that and allow the rain to come from the stars, so that I can visit that pain and let it go, so that I can become who I really am, which is the beautiful light spiritual being that is residing within the physical body.
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Now, the other lines here, the only one that really changes is at the end where he says, like my fathers come to pass. 20 years has gone so fast. And we talked about that at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. It is suddenly like, well, no matter what I do at this point in my life, I don't feel like I'm that old, but I think about the past and I think about time that I spent. I look back and I go, wow, time has really flown. It has really just sped by. And so I can really resonate with this 20 years has gone so fast, because I can say that. Good grief, 20 years has gone so quickly. And, I don't necessarily know if I feel like I'm asking anybody to wake me up when September ends, but I do understand how.
I do know that Frank Sinatra has a song entitled September of My Years.
Yes.
And so for me, this is that time in your life when 20 years just pass so fast.
Yes.
And I'm in the September of my years.
Yeah.
And so, wake me up.
When September ends. Yes. I love that.
Because when September ends, of course, is just that time of life when you do get to just sit in your rocking chair on the front porch and enjoy the birds and the bees and the flowers and the budding of spring.
Yes.
Because you've done your work. All your, you have.
I love how you just said that.
Gone
because
through
you've done,
summer.
You've gone through your summer, you've gone through your spring, you've done your work, you've lived your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you're in September now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Donna.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete, thank you for this Thank you for this very much.
Yeah, this was a beautiful song. It does repeat. And for me, repeating when it says, here comes the rain again, falling from the stars as my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends.
It's
reinforcing,
yes.
I think, is what they're doing. They're just repeating.
I love songs like this because, I don't know if a lot of people think of these songs that have repeating lyrics like this, but I would offer that this reminds me of a mantra.
Ah, like that.
Because to me, that's really what some mantras are. They are that reinforcement of this feeling and this knowledge or wisdom or whatever anybody wants to call it. Really, it is the reinforcement of that, and it is the acceptance of that gift that it is giving and what it can give back, the acknowledgement of all of those things and the gratitude for it and all the things that come with that mantra. They can be so beautiful. And that's what I feel like these songs that have that kind of reference to me, that's what I feel like they are. They're just a little bit more of a musical one, and I guess, is that what a kirtan is?
Yes.
Yes. I just learned something. That's awesome. I didn't know if I ever
coming
knew that
together.
before.
Yes,
that's amazing.
To share mantra through music, and because we are the 70 trillion cells that make up the physical body. Each individual cell is light.
It is light.
Sound. And vibration.
It's all of those things. Frequency, it's energy, it's light, sound, energy. That is amazing.
And therefore, music
yes,
can soothe the soul when it is presented in the proper way.
Oh my gosh. There was an article I read once that said each one of the human body's muscles produces a specific musical note.
I believe that. Because we can tune ourselves with tuning forks. Oh, I love that.
We're having a blast this morning.
So thank you, Pete, and thank you, each and every one of you, for being here now on Lyrical Wisdom. Yes. Remember, you can send us your requests to
lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. And also to 99classicrock@gmail.com, 99classicrock@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.